Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Kathy, and while I put my makeup on today, I'm going to tell you about what I'm eating low carb. I just dove back in Saturday, finally, and let's see how far I get. Okay, so let's get started with some makeup. About a year ago, actually it was a year ago in June, I started working with a health coach named Rebekah Hashman. Yeah, she has a YouTube channel. Maybe I can link it for you. She's also on Instagram. Anyway, I worked with her for about 3 months. She does one-on-one coaching, and I paid for 3 months. Honestly, I didn't have money to pay for more, but I learned a whole lot, and a lot of those things that I changed in the way I do things, I still do today. So a lot of it stuck, and after I'd been working with her for about 6 weeks, I saw so much improvement in my autoimmune disorder. I had more energy, less fatigue, so many things changed. And so your obvious question would be, even if I didn't still work with her, why did I stop eating like that? And that'd be a very good question. And if you could answer it for me, that'd be great, because oh my goodness, my carb addiction is so real. So real. And I've just struggled with it all my life. And so several times over the last year, I've tried to jump back in. Sometimes I last a day, sometimes I last one meal before I'm shoving in the carbs again. But so I definitely need to lose weight, but also I just need to feel better, and I've always, if I could be real, I've always looked at people who had a health issue that they knew how to fix with food, and didn't do it. And I thought, oh my gosh, if I was so-and-so, I would do so-and-so. Yeah, that ain't so. That ain't so. It's easier said than done, for sure. But anyway, so Saturday, my husband and I started back. We did perfect Saturday. We haven't done perfect since then. I'd say we've done 80% good. But so I thought I would just share with you what I'm doing. I will say that Rebekah's program is very individualized. So she doesn't have just a program that, like everybody does the same thing. She works with you according to what you have going on and what your needs are. So I'm going to tell you what I'm doing, but it doesn't mean that you should do it. It just is what's working for me. But the main thing I'm going to tell you is some things that we're eating, which if you're doing any kind of keto or low carb or whatever you want to call it, plant-based, a lot of these would work for you. These, I guess they're recipes. They're just things that we have thrown together. And so I shoot for, as far as macros go, which until I started working with her, I never knew anything about macros, but I use my MyFitnessPal app. And I put in everything I eat, and it tells me how many carbs, how many protein, and how many fat I've eaten for the day. And so Rebekah had me eating more fat than anything, healthy animal fat. She had me eating the highest amount of fat, then protein, and then carbs. And my carbs, I'm doing about between 25 and 50 grams of carbs a day. I don't want to say I can't. I want to say I don't want to do any lower than 25. But it works for me. When I stick with it, it works, and I feel so much better. So, anyway, and I try to eat within an 8-hour window. We like to start at 11 and eat till about 7, and I don't do that perfectly either, but that's my goal. That's what we work on. Whoa, that was a lot. I forgot this is a newer thing of blush here. And I don't know if the other one was just dried out a little bit or what, but this is definitely more pigmented. But it'll calm down in a minute. Don't be scared. Okay, so I'll start with what I had this morning. I honestly don't know where I got this idea. Maybe it was on the Equip site. So I use a brand of protein called Equip Prime Protein. And it is grass-fed beef. That's what the protein is. It does not taste like grass-fed beef. And I always add stuff to it anyway, but I don't taste the beef. I always buy the vanilla because I feel like you can make all kinds of concoctions from vanilla. So this morning I had, my nose is itching again. Hello, I'm on here, my nose is itching. That just goes together, right? Ugh, drives me nuts. Okay, so I try to steer clear of seed oils, but I do know that peanut butter is a seed oil, and I eat peanut butter. So this morning I had whole milk plain yogurt because I'm looking for the higher fat, and peanut butter. I did a half a scoop of the vanilla protein powder. I did a little bit of heavy cream and a little bit of honey. And that got me to where my fat was the highest, then protein and carbs. It's delicious. It's so good. It's so hearty. Like I feel full after I eat it. I only start with a half a cup of yogurt and a half a scoop of the protein powder and 2 tablespoons of peanut butter and 2 teaspoons of honey and a tablespoon of heavy cream. But it puts it right in the perfect order for me. And it's so filling. It's so hearty. It's delicious. It's like a pudding type consistency. And it's a little nutty because of the peanut butter. It's a little sweet because of the honey. And also the prime protein has some stevia in it. So it's a little bit sweet from that too. It's so good. And it has held me for hours. Hours today. So that's what I started with. Tonight for supper, now we've done something a little bit like this, but we haven't exactly done this thing. But tonight we're gonna have salmon patties, and we're using fresh salmon and just chopping it up into small pieces. And then we're mixing with it an egg and some avocado mayonnaise and pork skins crushed up, like they look like breadcrumbs, just crush up pork skins. You can buy them already crushed up, but we just crush up our own. And what else? We're gonna put a little bit of onion, a little bit of dill, and some salt. Did I get everything? We're just gonna stir that up, make patties out of it. We're gonna fry them in avocado oil, which is another good healthy oil. I do mostly animal fats, but I use avocado oil if I need some for a pan, or some things I'll do butter. But I think avocado oil has a higher smoking point. So for my salmon patties, I'm gonna do avocado oil. And can I be real? I don't cook. My husband cooks. I tell him what to cook. I tell him what we're gonna put in it, and he cooks it. Yay! Yay for Mark. Okay. And then we're gonna have some tartar sauce made out of avocado mayonnaise, chopped up dill pickles, and a little bit of lemon juice. Yum. I'm excited for that tonight. So that's, a lot of these things we eat on repeat. The peanut butter yogurt, we've only been eating for about a week, and I love it. And the 7 patties we've made them before, but not exactly like this, I don't think. But then there's some other things I'll tell you about that we eat sort of on rotation. One of them is a hamburger patty, and then when it's done, we'll put butter on top to melt, and then we put bacon, already cooked bacon, and a slice of cheddar cheese, and let that melt on top. And then sometimes we'll, as a side, we're not doing a lot of vegetables. We do some, but sometimes I might just have some cottage cheese on the side with some cucumbers, or let me see what all I wrote down so I don't forget something. What did I say we had though? I mean, we change it up, but yeah, cottage cheese with cucumbers, and then maybe watermelon for dessert. And of course, I'm measuring all that out and weighing it out so I know how much of everything I'm getting. Sometimes we crumble up ground beef in a skillet and cook it. And we like to add a spoonful of pico because it gives it really good flavor. And to me, if you just add a little bit, it doesn't make it taste Mexican. It just gives it good flavor. I mean, it's basically just tomatoes, onions, and peppers. But sometimes we add more if we want that Mexican flavor. I think it has a little cilantro in it, a little lime. We just buy the freshly made at the grocery store. You do have to watch it. You have to look at the date when you buy it, and then you have to keep an eye on it because it doesn't keep very long, so we try to use it quickly, but we don't always make it. Okay, how are these eyebrows doing today? Okay, so sometimes we crumble up ground beef, cook it with a little bit of pico to just give it a little flavor. And then once it's cooked and we drain the grease off, then we put some butter in there. And that really makes it taste good, and it gets my fat to what it's supposed to be. Then we'll put it in a bowl and put some cheddar cheese on top to melt. And then we fry an egg and put it on top of that. It's a delicious, I started to say breakfast, but we will eat that for breakfast or any meal. What else do we do? Sometimes we spiralize zucchini and put just crumbled up hamburger meat on top of that. And then we use the Rayo spaghetti sauce, and I just measure out a half a cup, which is plenty for me. And I layer it. I don't mix it all together. I don't know why. That's just what I like to do. So I'll do zucchini noodles that are cooked in butter, just butter and salt them. And then, what am I trying to think? Oh, I'll take a little bit of, at some point in the layering, I'll take some grated mozzarella and some Parmesan. Maybe grated mozzarella over the noodles, then put the hot meat on top of that. Everything's hot, so it melts it. And then put the spaghetti sauce over that, and then a little Parmesan cheese. It's delicious. You gotta get your fat in. You gotta add butter to your noodles and butter to your meat. You know, if you're doing this same thing that I'm doing, you gotta get the fat up. The cheese helps with the fat. And I always just scribble all these things down on paper before I do them, like, okay, if I have this and this much of this, then how much of everything am I getting? So that when we go in there to cook it, I know exactly how much fat I need marked to add. And, you know, all this fat goes against everything I've ever known. Like low fat, low fat, low fat all my life. And I was shocked. First of all, I was shocked that this healed me so much. And I was also shocked that I lost weight. First, I started losing inches. Everything, my chest, my waist, my hips, everything got smaller slowly. And then the pounds eventually started coming off. And of course, I've gained all that back. So we're going to do this again. All right, let's see what kind of makeup we're doing next. And then I'll see what else I can tell you. I wrote down 10 different things. And most of them we just have on rotation. Another one is the protein drink. The same protein powder that I used for the yogurt, I do a whole scoop of it in the, when I do a drink, it's like a shake consistency. We usually do a half a cup of frozen sweet cherries, naturally sweet. We don't add any sweetener. We do, let me see. I know I'm gonna leave something out trying to do all this from memory, so I'm gonna look at my notes. Scoop of protein, frozen cherries, butter, heavy cream, cold water, and ice. And I freaked out for a long time. First of all, I couldn't, when I was working with Rebekah, I was like, I don't know how to make this fatty enough, because it's got 20 grams of protein in just that little scoop. And she was like, well, you can do heavy cream, or you can do butter, well, I do a tablespoon of heavy cream, but my stomach doesn't really love heavy cream, so a tablespoon is all I can get by with. And that doesn't bring the fat up high enough. So I started using 2 tablespoons of butter in there. And it's all in the blender with the ice and everything. And you will never know it. It's just delicious. It is so delicious. So we do a protein drink a lot. We do scrambled eggs with cheese, some bacon, and butter, of course, to cook the eggs in. And then I might eat blueberries on the side. And sometimes I put pico in my eggs, too. That gives them a really good flavor. What else? Protein drink, scrambled egg. Okay, truffles. So we have the little mini waffle maker. It makes a waffle about that big. And you put, I'm too old to be multitasking. In every video I'm multitasking because I'm putting on makeup. That's one task. Then I'm trying to tell you about something in my life. Last week it was a puppy, and this week it's what I'm eating. And so I just get, where am I? Where am I in my makeup? Where am I in that story? What recipe I've already told you. We'll get there, right? All right, let's do a little bit of eyeshadow. All right, so truffles. We have the mini waffle maker. We mix 1 egg and 1/2 cup of grated mozzarella. And I use the high fat because I'm looking for high fat in my meal. Okay, so I use the full fat mozzarella cheese. And you just mix those 2 things up. It makes 2 waffles, so you can make a sandwich out of it. Then before we close the waffle maker, we sprinkle some grated sharp cheddar, because that gives the outside of it a good crunch, and it also gives it more flavor, because mozzarella doesn't have a whole lot of flavor, to me anyway. And then, let's see, I had this a couple of days ago. We made the truffles, and then when they came out, we buttered the inside of them. They were hot, so they melted the butter. Again, I'm trying to get my fat up. We put cooked bacon on it and a slice of tomato. It's delicious. Now, y'all, I miss mayonnaise. I love mayonnaise. I don't love avocado mayonnaise, like if it's on a sandwich where you're going to really taste it. Tonight, all mixed in with this, the ingredients for the salmon patties, it won't bother me. But I miss mayonnaise on that truffles. But this last time we buttered the truffles, and they were delicious. What else? I often eat blueberries with whatever I eat for breakfast. And I feel like it curbs my sweet tooth, because, y'all, every meal that I finish, I'm ready for something sweet when I get done. So I usually have blueberries after breakfast, and then if it's the season for a good watermelon, I love watermelon after my meal at night. And it really does curb my appetite. But let me tell you what curbs my appetite more than the fruit. That is the fat. When you eat the high animal fats, you're so satisfied. You rarely crave anything, and especially if you're combining that with protein and fat. So that's working good for me. Okay, I don't think I want any other, I don't think I want anything in the corner. I think just this brown for today is good. I'll put something on the lid and under my brow. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so I gotta put some of that brown under my eye. I always forget that before I put it away. I'm gonna put some of this pink color right here on the lid. And then I'll say what I haven't told you about. I don't know if this is helpful to you, but I know when I first started this program with Rebekah, she just told me the parameters. She didn't say eat this and this and this. It wasn't that strict. She just told me, this is what I need you to get in. This is what I need you to avoid, you know. And I was really overwhelmed with what do I eat? I was just like, I'm clueless. What do I eat? So even though I haven't strictly done this diet since I worked with her a year ago, we often eat these things anyway. Even if I'm gonna pick out on my carbs later, I've still gotten into a habit of eating the high protein and fat, and then following up with what carbs or whatever I'm eating, because it makes me feel better. Okay, I'm confused here. Yep, here's what I want. It makes me feel better to have that fat and protein. Even it doesn't heal me as good as when I leave all those carbs off, but it still helps me to feel better. So a lot of these recipes we've been eating for a year, and they just become go-tos. Okay, I got to think here about makeup. What else? Protein drinks, scrambled eggs, truffles, hamburger patties, spaghetti, wheat steak. I love steak. Wheat steak, we put butter on top. And a vegetable we love to eat is squash and onion stewed in butter. Look, you might be missing your carbs, but you can't deny all these things taste delicious with butter. Let's see what else. I might have told you all. Oh, sometimes we crumble up ground beef. We try to make like a Mexican type bowl. We put pico in the ground beef to cook it. I haven't got the right thing open here. We cook some cauliflower and do butter and salt on the cauliflower. Put it down in the bottom of the bowl. Put the meat on that. Melt cheese on the top or not. Sometimes I don't do cheese. I do guacamole on the side, which I just make with avocado, pico, and a little bit of avocado mayonnaise or sour cream, either one. So that's our Mexican-y bowl. You can do guacamole, you can do cubed avocado and some cut up tomatoes. You can just put some of that fresh pico on top. Sour cream, cheese. Like, I feel like there's a lot of options with a Mexican type bowl, and it's delicious. And we eat that often. I think I've told you about everything on I mean, there's more that we eat. I just sat down today and jotted down some things that we eat on a regular basis, just to give you some ideas of what I'm doing. Y'all, I want to stick to this. I want to feel better on a regular basis. I want to be able to leave the house and not worry about being sick. And that is one thing. When I worked with her for 3 months, after about 6 weeks, I was leaving the house all the time and never getting sick. It blew my mind. I rarely, when I'm not doing this, I rarely leave the house without having to visit the bathroom everywhere we are and be sick while I'm in there. I often feel like I'm going to pass out, get weak, get dizzy, get off balance, like so many things. And I just go weeks without leaving the house. Yesterday, I had dental work that had to be done. I had to leave the house. I'm scared to eat before I leave. I'm scared to eat because I'm scared it'll mess up my stomach. I'm scared to not eat because then I'm not diabetic, but I feel like I have some hypoglycemia, and that's just self-diagnosed, but I get the feeling sick if I don't eat. So I feel like, oh, this is gonna happen if I eat, this is gonna happen if I don't eat. What do I do? But sometimes I'm forced to leave the house. I had a root canal done back in October, and it was a second root canal on a tooth, so they went through the crown. So they put a temporary filling in. And I just didn't want to go back to the dentist. I didn't want to leave the house. I hate the dentist anyway. So I let it go until, I don't know, last week sometime, I guess, the temporary came out. And then I had this deep hole that was just filling up with food that I could not get it out. So I had to go get a tooth filled yesterday. But, yeah. I'm ready to feel better. And of course I'm ready to lose weight. I've been ready to lose weight all my life. Yeah, I've been successful at times, but not, I've been successful at getting 25, 30 pounds off, never more than that. I need to lose 100. But I was never successful at keeping it off. So I need to do this. And Mark is more on board than he's ever been. And I think just the last year of just trying so many things and eating so many meat. I mean, men love to eat meat, right? I think that has helped him, and he actually really likes eating like that. Now, I mean, don't get me wrong. We both crave our carbs. I do more than him. I'm a carb addict, I guess. And the hardest thing for me to give up is Coke. And I know how terrible it is for me. And I only drink one a day, but even that, I can tell hurts me. I can tell it hurts my kidneys. Sometimes my kidneys hurt from drinking it. How ridiculous. Why wouldn't you stop, Kathy? I don't know. And my plan was not to replace that with diet drinks, because I think they're just as bad for you. But I just happened to have some in the refrigerator from one of my kids that was drinking it, because every time all the kids come, I'm like, what do y'all want to drink? And I get what everybody likes. And I had some out there, and I drank it, and I was like, oh, this is so good. It was a Coke Zero. But y'all, I can't keep doing that either. So when they're gone, they're just going to be gone. I cannot buy them again. It's hard. Carbs are so good. My favorite, the hardest thing it is for me to give up is a Coke. But my favorite dessert is a cookie. And we always have cookie dough, homemade cookie dough in the freezer, that we make the dough and scoop it out with our cookie scoop, freeze it on a sheet pan, and then put them in a bag and just take out how many we want when we're ready for one. That's hard to give up. I love my cookies too, but I'm doing it. I am doing it. Okay, what have I not done on my face? I think I might be ready for some mascara. I just rattle. And then I say everything I've got to say, and then I'm like, oh, I don't have anything else. I'm sure if you'll give me a minute, I'll come up with something. So what else is going on with me? I mean, tell me what has worked for you. Tell me if you're eating low carb, high protein, even if you're not eating high fat. I can take a high protein meal and add the fat to it. That's not really hard. So if you're doing some version of this, tell me, what are your go-tos? What do you like to eat? What do you fix on a regular basis? What is it that really satisfies you when you eat it? Any of those things. I gave you some of mine. Give me some of yours. I have bought a cookbook, 2 cookbooks, that all the recipes fit. Well, no, they don't all fit. But I like plain old ingredients. Give me some ground beef. We're not eating a lot of chicken, but we do eat chicken some. But give me some ground beef and some eggs and some butter and some cauliflower or squash or blueberries or whatever, and I'm good. I used to, not on this diet, but just when I'm eating just a regular standard American diet, I used to go by, I don't know, five abnormal ingredients. I'm just exaggerating. I don't know how many. But you know those ingredients that you buy for a recipe and you'll never use them for anything else? I used to be the one to do that. My mother was not. My mother was going to substitute. She was not going to go buy a couple ingredients, you know, just for a recipe that she'd probably never use again. But not me. I like to do it like the recipe says. But I'm sort of over that. So that cookbook those cookbooks have not served me well. I just rather not. I mean, I keep all the time in my refrigerator, I have sour cream, cottage cheese, cheddar cheese, mozzarella cheese, eggs, butter. I've always got bacon and sausage, and ground beef and chicken. And so I've always got frozen cauliflower. I buy the Publix frozen cauliflower. It's really good. I used to never want to buy frozen vegetables like that because it seemed like when you cook them, they were always just mushy. But this is not. This Publix frozen cauliflower. I mean, I'm sure you could overcook it and it'd be mushy, but for the most part, it does not come out mushy, and I like it. But I've just got all those things. I've always got frozen cherries, frozen blueberries. I like to eat fresh blueberries, but I like the frozen ones too if I'm out of the fresh. And I like to be sure, I like a lot of fresh stuff, but I like to be sure that there's something in my freezer that I can eat when I run out of the fresh stuff. So I always have frozen cauliflower, frozen cherries, frozen blueberries. I don't particularly care for frozen yellow squash. I like that fresh, and mostly I like it in the summer because it's in the winter, it seems like all you find in the grocery store is the real large pieces of yellow squash, and I don't think those are near as good. Okay, lipstick. So tell me, what are you doing? What's working for you? Give us your testimonial. Like, how long you've been doing something and how's it working for you? And this is the best thing I've ever done. I've done Weight Watchers 1,000,000 times. And I lose on it. I hadn't done it in a while. But I don't keep it off. Because it doesn't feel sustainable. And the reason I think that this feels sustainable is that the protein and fat make you so satisfied. If I eat enough protein and fat, I don't get hungry for hours. And I love that because, after I would eat my Weight Watchers meal, and it's always low fat. And I think I think that's why. And it's also always less beef than chicken because, you know, it's fattier. And y'all, beef is so satisfying. A hamburger patty holds me forever. And then if I put butter and bacon and cheese on it, it really holds me. I'm like, this is delicious, and I'm not hungry, and I'm not craving anything. So I've done all kinds of things. I did remember when the Whole 28 was going around? It might still be, but I don't ever hear anything about it. I did that. I ate a lot of vegetables on that. I was hoping that after I did the Whole 28, I would keep on eating like that, but I did not. In fact, I was 2 days shy. I did a Whole 26 instead of 28. And the vegetables, the heavy vegetables and fruit, they don't satisfy me like the protein and fat. So, as far as being sustainable, this is the best thing I've ever done. I've never stayed on anything long. And actually, you know, it's been a year since I started working with Rebekah. And I think I have, even though I have not stuck to the plan, I have stuck closer to it. I've kept a lot of the things more than I've ever kept anything before. And sorry, I can't talk and do that. Sometimes we don't eat any vegetable or fruit. We just eat the protein and fat. That's more carnivore-ish, I guess you'd say. I don't really want to be just carnivore. And when I started working with Rebekah, I thought that was what I was mostly getting into, but she doesn't believe that you have to do just all meat. She believes you can, you know, add some things in that are some vegetables and some fruit. And basically all we do, all the vegetables we do zucchini, yellow squash, cauliflower, we do onions and the pico, and we do cucumbers. That's about all we do. And then in fruit, we do strawberries, blueberries, watermelon. That might be all. I mean, none of it is just completely off limits. But, you know, a lot of it is higher in carbs than others, like bananas are really high in carbs. So I just seem to be really satisfied sticking with those things. I like it. So anyway, I'm hoping that talking to you about it today inspires me to keep going. Keep going, Kathy. Every day, every meal, just do the next right thing. Eat the next right thing, right? I got my makeup on, finally. Thank you for hanging out with me today. I appreciate you so much. And be sure and let me know in the comments what you're doing that's working for you and what is your go-to meal in that. And let's just encourage each other and help each other out. So I will see you next week. Thank you for hanging out with me. Bye.